YouTube? What's up, YouTube? ASMR by nature. Back with some solidity. As you can see, you can go through a couple of these pictures, couple of these photos. This is, in fact, iOS 26. I would rather we can ignore how bright it is and just skip the whole translucency of the numbers and just get straight to these straight to the wallpapers. This is in fact 16 Pro. I don't know if you had the 16 Pro, or if you're wondering if you should go with the 16 Pro from Facebook Marketplace, from your local retailer, or should you go ahead and upgrade to the 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max. In terms of generative AI, it's a beast for sure. That's super close to me, though. That's really close to me. These are all very accurate depictions of myself using Genmoji, iOS 26 Genmoji. It got my gap and stuff correct. Yeah. Yes. Very good. But I did this, God is good. That I can say. God is truly good. To bless me with an iPhone 16 Pro just to review for you guys. But no, the telephoto lens, promotion display on this thing, it's really, it's leagues, ahead of the 15 Pro Max, because this phone has no service on it, so I don't get the full experience of data slowdowns, and I don't get to see how it handles everyday tasks for like 100%, but I do record with this due to it being a 512 gigabyte version, 512 gigabyte natural titanium model. I am thankful. Truly am thankful. But in terms of stepping up from 13, 14, 15, yes, it's a decent step up. But if you want serious power, if you want serious locality, if you want future proofing, I would definitely go 17. I would definitely go 17 Pro Max. But if you want solidarity, if you want, GPT says light users. I would say if you care about your front camera, if you care about how serious, how decent your front camera is, not that this camera is bad or anything, but it has much stronger. The 17 Pro has a much stronger selfie camera. It has a center stage selfie camera where it automatically focuses. It'll focus back when people are in the shot, and then if it's just you in the shot, it'll zoom back in. So there's much more power, much more efficiency in that A19 chip. I think it's an A19 Pro chip. Let's see. Something like that. But honestly, this phone, as you can tell from my Savage savagely clear wallpapers. They the two 48 megapixel cameras are very well established, well put together. You know, many highlights, many lowlights. The 17 Pro is improved on the low light camera for sure, but I have yet to see one in person. You know, sorry for the delay in reviewing this thing. You know, I've been so kind of behind schedule in terms of releases and stuff. So I've really been slacking. You know, to put it in like a short form. But yeah, this 16 Pro is very hard to beat, but with better cameras, better low light performance, better a 2-day battery almost. I think that's what it said. And improved satellite connectivity. I won't say cellular connectivity. I'll say satellite connectivity. And in place of the regular selfie camera, what I have been using for high quality content is this Blackmagic camera. Blackmagic camera. Also, I use the Final Cut Pro camera. It records automatically in 4K. On the 16 Pro, it goes up to 4K 120. But on what I'm currently using, which is Final Cut Pro, it only goes up to 60 on my 15 Pro Max. But that's good though. There's an array of what you see here. You get high quality. You're getting high quality content, high quality visuals. But with the 16 Pro and 17 Pro, you get 120 hertz on screen. These are the Pro models. You get 120 hertz on screen, and then you get 120 frame per second images, videos. Images I say only because you can slow mo it. You can make it a semi-still. Make it really paint the scene how you want, how you decide to, how you and your iPhone rock out. But on to this little joker right here. This is also running iOS 26. One of my favorite features with this is I turned off the raise to wake, and when I want to turn it on and look at it, I can just scroll it up and then push it back down. Brighten it up a little bit, push it back down, because I caught myself quite often in a dark room, in a dark setting, and I raise my wrist, and it's nothing I can do about the blaring brightness that is just surrounding my aura, So, with complete control over the dial, over the shadow of the dial, how dark the dial turns it, that really keeps me out of slapping my wrist so often, because I don't have to worry about, hey, let me raise my wrist and my watch just come on, showing every notification, showing all my messages and snaps, and so much better. And you can just turn it back off. If you accidentally tap it, oh, there. No, so it doesn't go like that. But it's a utility. It's a utility watch, utility band, utility bracelet. So I use it as such. My sleep score I cannot officially show my sleep score on my phone, so maybe I can show it on my watch. iOS 26 has sleep score, although the new Ultra 3, the new Watch Ultra 3 has the ECG echocardiogram monitor, the blood pressure monitoring system. I am assuming it's due to the newer sensors and newer regulatory allowances that Apple has had to jump through. That is definitely my blood pressure, BP. I don't know. I don't think there is ability there. No, there's no health app on the Apple Watch Ultra. That's ironic though, you know. I'm down, but that's really ironic. But you know, I have had, you know, some issues with iOS 26. The control center is not showing all of the details, but you know, they say hit edit, it'll show you, and then figure out where it's at. They say low power mode it, turn it on, back out. But you know, that was just something I learned from the interwebs of YouTube. It came with iOS 26. I had it a little bit early. I installed the earlier beta. You know, when they were having little bugs and whatnot. But yeah, no, it's a couple of highlights also with the 17 Pro are the charging speed, thinner bezel area. I literally had no complaints with this iPhone 16 Pro. My only complaint would be the you know, the screen size. I wish it were 6.4 inches or something like that. You know, to where I could game on it and not have to squint my eyes. Where I could game on it and not have to squint my eyes. You know? But the battery is very powerful. 3,500 milliamp hour battery on the 16 Pro, whereas the 17 Pro has a 4,250 or something like that. 4,250, yeah. 3,500 and 4,250. But if you are not worried about lag, if you're not worried about, you know, the next 7 years rather than the next 4 to 5 years, then yeah, definitely go with the 16 Pro. It has much operating system power. Like, you can lock this thing and really do some damage with it. There still are issues with overheating. Like, if you have your case on and you're doing major gaming, or if you have your case on and you're doing major video editing, video recording, you are in trouble. There is There were updates with the 17 Pro with hyper, what is it? Like a cooling system, like a battery cooling system, or internal architecture. Internal architecture, with battery cooling, because this phone is a powerhouse. So they had to work around the steel. Well, in this case, what's this? Titanium, and then aluminum 17 Pro. They had to work around that. Adding some fans to the 17 Pro. That way you can game for a few more hours. You don't have to worry about your GPU and CPU making everything laggy and like choppy. What is it? It's like sometimes things don't respond at the same time that you press them. Just like a traditional outdating, like iPhone lag, when an iPhone goes out of date. It's just that traditional annoying, repetitive, slow. It's like a slow leak. It's just over the days, over the months, over the years, it just gets a little bit more, 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 a little bit more choppy, a little bit more, a little bit more desperate for a good tune-up. But yeah, this, if you're just needing a camera, if you're just needing a video camera that shoots 4K 120, I would definitely recommend this. You don't have to have all of the apps in the world. You don't have to, do everything. I definitely wouldn't say put a DSLR or like a Canon over this, But if you're ergonomic, if you're well well connected to the internet, then definitely, you can record, you can upload, you can ecosystem it, you can, what are they, airdrop things, or maybe I'm just lazy, trying to, push an iPhone on you. Haha. I mean, I'm a fanboy, but I also don't believe in buying 256 gig iPhones. But that might also just be me. But yeah, gaming on this thing is fire. I don't have Temple Run. What is that game? I won't play it. We can just open it. Fun Run, yes. Loaded very, very fast, very quickly. Very integrated experience, very fun, very on tap experience. So if you're going for the iPhone 17 Pro, it's definitely a steal. It's definitely future proof. It's really truly up to you what material you would like to go for in the iPhone, the two different iPhone 16 Pro and 17 Pro, because 16 Pro has the camera control button, so it has its own set of fragile features. They're talking scratch gate and bend gate with the new iPhone 17 Pro, but this This model didn't have that that privilege of being so able to be flawed. But they're iPhones though, so they're going to have a gate or something like some type of mass defect. Mass defect. Defected. So would I recommend getting the 17 Pro? If it's the same price, if it's the same outcome for you, yes. But if you have the chance to own your phone and get a 16 Pro, or that versus leasing a phone, I definitely would go the purchase of a solid intensive unit like this, because regardless of what your CPU and GPU say, the storage cannot lie. So you can if you get a terabyte 16 Pro, you can record 120 all day. You just have to be mindful of heating. Be mindful of 2 years from now, your 4K videos will have a chip on their shoulder. So you have to get around your the loopholes, the updates. If there's ever like a dev beta, you should definitely stay away from beta. If you have a newer phone, I would definitely stay away from the beta versions, because it can sway your opinion on iPhone, because you're using the software completely wrong. Using the software wrong would be a reason to dislike the phone. But like I say, if you do it with the right set of features in mind, you definitely can improve your improve your handling, improve your desire, improve the ecosystem, the economy of the iPhone. And if you want to see my box is actually still brand new. Box is actually still brand new. I actually haven't taken the cord out of the box just yet. That's in case I decide to, get rid of it or sell it or something. Verdict. Do you get the Duo? Do you get the Ultra 3 or the Ultra 2 or the 16 Pro, 17 Pro Max, 17 Pro? Verdict. The blood pressure monitoring is very, very promising, but in terms of what I got out of my Ultra 2, it is very, it's not worth it. It's not worth the upgrade. If you have an Ultra 2, I would say stay Ultra 2. But if you're if you're coming from the SE or an older version like the Series 10 or Series 9, then definitely go for the Ultra 3. If you can stand it, if you can take the girth of it, if you can take the thickness, if you can sleep with that. Some people can't sleep with it. Some people can't keep it on more than the allotted daytime hours, the driving and the walking exercise hours. Some people can't do that because it's too clunky, too ill-willed, It's like too purposeful. It's like too much of too much of a watch, less of a fitness tracker. Um, but like I say, Ultra 3 is packing great. Ultra 3 packs a larger battery, faster charging, 0 to 80% in around 45 minutes, 45 minutes, 80%, that gives you about a full day, about 24 hours, and it keeps the battery healthy in that 20 to 80% range. Keeps your battery working at its peak performance. Display. This Ultra 2 has an LTPO2 OLED. The bezels are a bit larger. The Ultra 3 has less bezels, so less of this silver blackish round. More polished feel, improved charging speed. Thinner, it's a little bit thinner. So, like I say, keeping some people, keeping some demographics in mind, some buyers rather than others who will just buy and not mind the thickness of it when they sleep at night. So do I recommend going full upgrade mode for the 17 Pro and Apple Watch Ultra 3? Yes. But if you're coming from the very last generation, if you have a 16 Pro, if you have an Ultra 2, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. But, you also don't have to upgrade both. You could do just the watch. Just the watch would be worth it. The phone and the watch, I don't think is worth it. Unless you're doing the iPhone Air, unless you want to go from 16 Pro to the Air, which I'm sure is a positive thing, because of how cool and what is it, how chill the iPhone Air is. Because it brings you back to the days when Apple was innovating. It makes you want to do things with your iPhone. It makes you want to go out and take pictures. I'm sure though the pictures there are very, very clear, as are the pictures on my 16 Pro, of course, for sure. Are these? Yes, these are images taken. That's a wallpaper image, but these images were taken. Let's see. Turtle. Nicely placed tortoise. Nicely sized tortoise. There was much zoom here. I think this was about a 6 times zoom or something like that. 5 times zoom. Here's another cool shot. I don't know why my iPhone, this 15 Pro wants to make it very complex. There's not nearly as much scream, as much fuzz that it's showing. Not nearly that much fuzz. Here's some good ones over at the mall. This one's one of my favorites.
Great.
Yeah. Here's some farmland I took. And it's amazing what you can capture, what you can put together, what you can, I want to say what you can fake, but the pro shots that you can artificially just create on the fly, they're outstanding. So the fact that I've created some great works here on this iPhone 16 Pro, or would make me say that it's not necessary to upgrade to the 17 Pro or the 17 Pro Max or the Air. Just simply due to the fact that it's very much a powerhouse that you can access nearly every new feature on. Some features, like I say, faster charging, faster improvements, Wi-Fi battery, but something though that may go unnoticed as much as that brighter display. The brighter displays, they'll give you that. They may drain more battery, but they definitely give you the impact of less strain and more deep and clear colors. But I'm not going to talk your ear off. I'm going to let you guys have it. Let you guys go. This is just should you buy iPhone 16 Pro Ultra 2 comparison? Little detailed walkthrough, little update